everybody, and welcome to the Everything Voiceover Podcast. My name is Justin D. Torres. The Everything Voiceover Podcast is brought to you by the Voice Realm, where only professional voice actors are listed. Today on the Everything Voiceover Podcast, we're going to take on ways to get repeat clients. Repeat clients are the gold mine of the voiceover industry. As you get further and further into the industry and you do million upon millions of auditions, maybe not millions, but as you do thousands upon thousands of auditions, the few clients that you end up booking, you will find that quite a few of them, a large percentage of them, will keep coming back for more. If you think about it, the clients have to sift through, even the big ones have to sift through hundreds of auditions, trying to find the right voice for their product, and it's much easier once they've found you just to use you over and over again. Because if you've got the sound that they want, why go anywhere else? And it takes a lot. It's more efficient for them to just rehire you than it is to re-audition the entire thing, go through the entire process over again. So what you'll find is that you'll be used by the same clients over and over. I personally was sent upstate New York multiple times to work with an amazing client. And to do audiobooks and children's books. And for once a month, I would go up there over and over again because, you know, he knew I was willing to come up. He knew that my schedule was good, and he knew that I can get the job done. So he just kept hiring me over and over again. And that's really the kind of client that you want. We all want to get repeat clients, and we all want to have a steady stream of income that you don't have to audition for. And here are the 5 ways to get repeat clients in voiceover. Number 1, speed. If you can get a job done within 24 hours, you're great. You're amazing. That's kind of the gist of like most non-union voiceovers, 24-hour turnaround, depending on the size of the job. If you can get it done within 8 hours, honestly, it feels like you're doing the client a favor. If you can get it done in a couple hours, if they suddenly send you the job and suddenly it's done, they'll be like, whoa, that is really fast. And anytime you get a critique of, wow, that was really fast, then that's a really good thing. If you have to be reminded by the client and they'll be like, hey, just checking in, seeing if everything's going okay. Usually that happens close to the deadline, and we all have had that problem where we actually start recording something, we kind of forget about it, and then we're like, oh, it's due Friday, I'll just do it Friday. And then Friday comes along, and you get that little message that happened to me today where the client was like, hey, just checking in, see if everything's all right. And then you're like, oh my God, I have to get it done. Well, if I had gotten that done 2 days ago, which I definitely could, I wouldn't have had that interaction. And, you know, maybe this client's thinking, oh, this guy is way too busy. He may not be able to do my jobs as quickly as I need them to get done. So if you want to get repeat clients, speed is the big way to get it done. But that's not at the expense of quality. Quality is all there. So you have to get it done. You have to get it done well, and you have to have a quality product. So that doesn't mean speeding through it for the sake of speed. That doesn't mean faster audition speeds. That just means getting it done quicker, getting the job done 100% and quicker. So that was number 1, speed. Now number 2, quick communication. Now, I don't know if anyone out there has stayed in Airbnb. It sure has, but my girlfriend runs an Airbnb, and what they've done, Airbnb has set up a setup where if you're someone who runs an Airbnb, the faster you communicate, the higher of a good grade, I guess, the Airbnb company gives you. So what they literally do is, like, if you message someone and they don't message you back within like 6 hours, you get like not a bad review, but maybe they just won't put you as high up in the Airbnb listings. So you want to be able to get that speed of communication going. Now, I know that when you start working with clients over and over again, you may have clients that are in Paris, or you may have clients that are just in an entirely different time zone where they'll connect with you at like 1 a.m. at night, and you don't have to respond. But if you're available and you can answer questions, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with having the ability to get things done very quickly, but communicating is what you need to do. So let's say if I've gotten a message from someone in Paris at 1 a.m. in the morning saying they really need that job done as quickly as possible. There was a pickup and it needs to get done tonight. Well, I have the choice. I can say, oh, I can get it done right now, and that's okay. Or you can say, right now it's 1 o'clock in the morning. My voice isn't as good as it should be, but once I get up in the morning, I will be able to get it done by, say, 11 a.m. Both of those aspects work out perfectly. Now, I've found that quick communication is much better than no communication. So, like if I got a message at 1 a.m. and I was up and I was able to respond to it, but I didn't, and instead at 11 a.m. I just sent it. You open yourself up for a wide range of miscommunications, especially if you have a client that is waiting for something and you can feel that they have a deadline coming. So the communication itself has to be quick. That's the great thing about communication. By telling people what's going on, you actually calm them when it comes to their ability to get frustrated. So make sure that no matter what hour of the day, if you are awake and you can respond to a client, the quicker you do it, the better. 100%. Actually, if you look at voices.com, and their feedback forum, and you look at people who've got 5 stars all the time, and I've gotten quite a few 5 stars, a lot of times they say quick communication, concise communication, got it done quickly. And that's a value. That's a huge value. So the first one was speed, the second one was quick communication, and number 3 is clear communication. Now this is going to go through a bunch of stuff, so stay with me here. By communicating well in your auditions and in your schedule, you can avoid any problems that come up in the future. Now, for example, let's say schedule-wise, this may include a vacation. Let's say when your client might need a pickup where you're not available, or you might be sick and you can't really speak, or there's a death in the family and you have to deal with that. These need to be communicated as it is happening. So if you're working with a person who's you've already got all the job out there and they're waiting on pickups and whatnot, and you find yourself waking up without a voice, tell them as quickly as possible. You don't want them to have to find out when they need the deadlines set. A good rule of thumb is that you give them a notice 2 weeks or more for any vacations. And now what if you have a lot of clients? You can contact all your clients, all the clients that are definitely that you're working on jobs right then, or you can just contact the ones that are in pickup land, or you can contact the ones or you can go as far as put it in an audition template and all the auditions that you're doing, saying, hey, just so you know, I'm not going to be here for 2 weeks, so make sure that you get the jobs to me then. And you're going to get really busy, and the good thing about that is that by telling clients, hey, yeah, here's a 2-week notice, then the good clients, the best clients, will take advantage of the opportunity to get the work that they need done. So I've had plenty of clients that have pushed their scripts and push their writers to get things done quickly so that I could get it recorded before I go off on vacation. And you have to honor that with clear communication, being like, I'm leaving at midnight, so make sure that you get me the script by 8 p.m. so I can have it to you by 9, and then we have an hour to figure out what's going on, and then I'm out of there by 10. Being clearly communicating helps show the client that you really care about their time, and they'll really care about your time. And then if you got that kind of a relationship, well, that'll turn into a repeat relationship, and you'll have a repeat client right there. Occasionally, you'll get what we call a piecemeal pickup client. Now, this is when it deals with clear communications. You want to be able to communicate your pickup rules and policies, to make sure that they know what's going on. Now, usually I tell clients that I do minor, I quote, put in quotes, minor pickups, 2 to 3 rounds of minor pickups. And I put 2 to 3 just in case, and those pickup rounds are minor, so they don't go over like 10 pages. They go a half a page max. And then if they need more rounds, they'll be charged extra, or if it's a large pickup, that is now when we're talking about pickups, we're not talking about things that are our fault. If I messed up, I will take care of it. That's not a pickup round. But if it's like a redo entirely of a script, or if it's a rewrite of a specific paragraph, that is a pickup, because it is not my fault. Now, once again, I said that occasionally you'll get a piecemeal pickup client where they'll send you maybe a sentence or two, and then the next day they'll send you another sentence or two, and the next day they'll be like, "Oh, we messed up here. We'll send you another sentence." What I do is I make sure that they know before I go in to do that pickup that, now, just so you know, this is an entire pickup round for you, and you have 2 more left or 1 more left. So if I do this one sentence, that'll take up a pickup round. Are you sure you don't want to just wait a couple days and make sure you have, at least a half a page ready for me, so that we don't have to take up those other pickup rounds with just single sentences? And like, on the one hand, you could be like, "Oh, great, I'm doing a 1-sentence job pickup, so when he does 3 of these and he doesn't know that I'm going to charge him for that 4th pickup, I'll get myself some extra money." Well, that's not the way to get repeat clients, because you're intentionally trying to charge them more money. Whereas all you need is clear communication to make sure that they know what they're getting into, and if they're willing to get into that and they have this kind of piecemeal mentality, then when the 4th round comes around, they'll be 100% fine with a $50 to $100 charge for that 1 sentence. And that's a good client to have, to be like, "You know what, we really need that sentence to get right. So if you can give it to us 5 times in a row, that'll be a fine pickup, and we'll pay you, $50 to $100 for it." It's good to communicate that, and you want to communicate that before you start the recording. Now, pickup rounds, a good mentality, for those of you who don't know what pickup rounds are, a good mentality is like, every time you have to get up, go into the studio, and record something, that is considered a round. So if I had to get up at 10 a.m. and go into the thing, do a pickup, if 7 p.m. comes around, they're like, "We need this," that's a second round. If I have to get up and record, that is a pickup round. So you also want to be able to ask all the questions you need before you start recording. Now, admittedly, once you get recording, there's going to be a bunch of weird things that happen, and like pronunciations and slide numbers and misspellings. These are all things you want to get done kind of before the last minute, and you want to try and get those things right out of the way. Maybe skim the script a little bit and be like, "Oh, just this happens a lot. This initials, like J-E-T, should I say jet or should I say J-E-T?" Those are all things you want to know kind of beforehand, and the faster you get that communication and the clearer you get that communication out to them, the better it'll be, and the quicker you'll have exactly what you need to get done. So those are the first 3 ways out of 5 to get repeat clients. Number 1, speed. Number 2, quick communications. And number 3, clear communications, whether it be scheduling, whether it be checking out what the problems are in the script, or whether it be, just making sure they know exactly what your rules are for voiceover. Okay, now would be a good time to say that the Everything Voiceover Podcast is brought to you by The Voice Realm, where only professional voice actors are listed. Well, now we're down to the last 2 ways to get repeat clients. The last 3 ways, actually. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're right. The last 3 ways. Apparently, I had made a bit of a mistake, and it's actually 6 ways to get repeat clients. So you guys are going to get an extra way right at the very end. So it's not 5 ways, it's 6 ways. Here I am reading it off of a little thing I typed out, and I didn't realize I didn't know how to count. Okay, all right, here we go. Number 4, a clean transaction will get you repeat clients. Now, all transactions must be clean, and that means if they have you signing a contract, get it signed as soon as possible. Read it, but get it signed. Make sure that they have all those little liability and NDA disclosures all signed up. And if you don't, and usually sometimes they're like, "Oh, just go ahead and fax it to us." But there are services out there that Google has. I used to use Jotform. Now I'm using a different one. But if you just look up how to sign PDFs for free, you should be able to just upload the document, sign it, put your little signature in there, and then just send out the PDF right back to them, and they should be able to use that freely. I think a PDF is much better than like a piece of paper, because you can easily lose a piece of paper. Now, it's when it comes to invoices, invoices usually go for clients that are not voices.com or Voices.com in particular, or Voice Realm clients, because those are all escrowed accounts, and the amount of money that you have that they have paid you will be paid by the pay-to-play site. But when you go to Voice123, you're going to have to invoice them yourself. So I'd recommend finding a template for invoices, using it, putting all your information in there, and that'll be the one that you use over and over again. Now, once again, it is imperative that you get the clients their invoices after you finish the job, or just as soon as you finish the job. You can put it in early, but it kind of feels to me like that's kind of putting the cart before the horse. That's like giving people the bill before you've made the food at the restaurant. So I usually send it right at the end, and yeah. And most clients will need that invoice before they can even cut a check. So, like, if they go to the accounting office, say, hey, pay Justin $300, is like, we need an invoice. So if they don't get one and months go by, you can contact them months later and be like, oh, I didn't get the check. And they'll be like, oh, I don't think we received an invoice. And then you're like, oh, okay, I need to get you an invoice. And you can't really feel bad about a check being 6 months late if you drop the ball on the invoice. So make sure you have an invoice template ready and you send it right away, because that's a pattern you want to do. For the most part, in my early parts of being a voiceover artist, the invoice was kind of like the tedious thing, and I never did it right when I finished the job. And boy, oh boy, did I regret it. There would be times where I just didn't have invoices, and every now and then I forget to send out an invoice, and that is bad for me. And that is how I lose clients, by being the guy who messages them 6 months later and is like, where's my money? And they're like, oh, you didn't send me an invoice. That's not a good way to get repeat clients. So that was number 4, clean transaction. Number 5, basic customer service. Now we're talking about politeness, good grammar, saying thank you very much, saying have a happy holiday. Sending out thank you letters, thank you messages, giving great feedback on voices.com. That's huge. Giving a 5-star to a person who gives you 5 stars is great. Occasionally you might get a 4-star, but if you give them a 5-star, maybe they're like, oh, you're better than that 4-star that I gave you. They might feel bad and hire you for another job. Show off your work on social media, and be able to be proud of it and be able to connect with those people. Those are all good customer services. Just saying thank you. The client is your customer. Treat them with respect and always assume the best. Don't assume everyone's trying to screw you over. Occasionally there will be a client that will be late on their things, and a million things could have happened. Maybe it was the middle of a vacation, or someone got fired and you get lost in the paperwork. Don't worry about it. Keep communicating, unless someone is, sometimes your email goes straight to spam. And unless someone is adamantly dodging your communications, just keep trying to communicate. And I think you'll find that you will rarely ever be taken advantage of. Rarely. You may even want to go above and beyond when it comes to customer service. You may want to give them an extra take, maybe 2 takes. Maybe this is a 30-second thing and you want to give them 3 takes. That's great. That's amazing. That's a huge plus for customer service. But you can't feel bad about it if they need another take. If they want to use one of those pickup rounds to ask for another 30-second take, you can't really be mad about it. You gave those extra takes with the gamble that they wouldn't have to ask you to go back into the studio again. So make sure you just, if you do give extra takes, your policy is 2 pickup rounds, and those can be taken advantage of from any client. Or it's 3 pickup rounds. I wouldn't go 4 pickup rounds. That's a lot. That's a lot of rounds if you're talking. And definitely say minor on there, because sometimes a pickup round could be an entire chapter of an audiobook, and you do not want to do that. You want to, and this is just me telling you from an audiobook perspective, make sure that you are working with a client with an audio that is not terribly hands-on to the point where you're going to be redoing every chapter over and over again. That is bad. Okay, let's go on to number 6. Now, this is staying top of mind. Now, if you listen to the last podcast, I talked about stuff to stay top of mind, and I'll tell you one thing, this is a great way to just get repeat clients, is because you are the one voiceover artist that keeps communicating, because as I had done earlier in my career, I just did my job, and then I walked away, and never to see those lovely people who paid me money ever again. Don't make the same mistake I did. Make sure you stay top of mind. Communicate with the people that are paying you money over and over again. Don't annoy them, but give them, we're talking letters, emails, just checking in, saying how they're doing, wishing them a happy holidays, wishing them, Happy New Year. Saying thank you if you find their video. If you received the script. Now, if we're going through the whole process, if you received a script, thank them and give them an ETA about when you're going to have it done. That's really huge. That's great. That's another clear communications thing, but it also keeps them top of mind to know that you're the one who's communicating well. And once you're done and get paid, thank them. Then maybe 2 months later, thank them again. If you see an audition from the same client, remind them of the job that you did for them, and then thank them again. Say, "Oh, we were a part of this one. That's so cool. This looks like a great job too. Thank you so much for putting up this audition. I hope we can work together again." If you find a video of your work online months later, maybe a year later, thank them again. Who knows? There's a funny thing that'll happen is that if you end up working with a lot of clients, and the older they are, and you've upgraded your system, when you go back and talk to those clients years later, they may be like, "Oh, wow, yeah, we definitely do need someone. We just haven't been able to find them. Thank you for messaging us because we actually have something." That happens more times than you can ever imagine. So let's go over the 6 as opposed to 5 ways to get repeat clients in voiceover. We're talking number 1, speed, get it done quickly. 24 hours is regular time. 8 hours is crazy fast, but don't be taken advantage of. If someone asks for 4 hours or 2 hours, and you didn't know that from the get-go, you may be able to charge a little bit extra, because technically getting it done between 4 to 8 hours is a speedy deadline. It's a rush deadline. And you're not a monkey, and you don't have to do things within usually 24 hours is just the generalized thing about getting any job done, any job. Number 1 is speed. Number 2 is quick communication. Get things done quickly. Make sure to communicate as quickly as possible. Number 3, clear communication. Making sure that your rules are nice and set, and that in your audition, and that your vacations are set 2 weeks ahead of time, and that you know that a client is going to be charged more, and you make sure they know that a good couple of rounds beforehand, just to make sure that they don't ask you to do something and get surprised when they're charged an extra $50 to $100. Now, the next one is clean transaction. That means invoices and getting things signed, and getting contracts signed, and getting NDAs signed, and getting those invoices out like clockwork every time. The job is not done until the invoice is out. Number 5, basic customer service. We're just talking about treating them like they're a customer, saying thank you, saying hello and how are you, and thank you very much, happy holidays, and these are ways to be just a good worker. And number 6, staying top of mind, making sure you're on the tops of all those clients' minds. Make sure that they know that you did good work for them, and that you're willing to do a lot more good work for them. And that's the way those are 6 ways that you get repeat clients in voiceover. Thank you guys so much for listening in. Once again, the Everything Voiceover Podcast is brought to you by The Voice Realm, where only professional voice actors are listed. Thank you guys so much for listening in. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at EverythingV, and then go ahead and head to our website at everythingvoiceover.com and check out all the articles and podcasts there. Thank you guys so much for listening on SoundCloud and iTunes. We're getting a lot of really good feedback there and a lot of listens. I'm really excited about everything, and I can't wait to get some more communication from you all. So thank you guys so much for listening. This has been the Everything Voiceover Podcast. My name is Justin D. Torres. Have a nice day.